evening, everybody. I think Ankur,
Yeah,
would you like to start?
just started. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Ankur, and today let me welcome you all for today's webinar on Alphaniti in coordination with Nirmal Bank. Now, before starting this webinar, let me tell you something about Nirmal Bank. That Nirmal Bank is very old brokerage firm, and it is one of the leading stockbroking companies in India. It caters to all retail and institutional clients by offering them a range of financial products and services, including equities, derivatives, commodities, currency derivatives, mutual fund, IPO, depository services, and PMS. I am associated with Nirmal Bank since last 10 years and having experience of approximately 19 years. And I handle the entire trading operations at Nirmal Bank. Today, we are going to introduce a platform called Alphaniti, which will help us in wealth creation and in a systematic and a strategic way. Now, Alphaniti is basically a data-driven, rule-based investing and technology-enabled in digital investment advisory platform. Okay. Redefining the investing experience for Indian investors by offering them time-tested strategies that match the investors' risk profile. So we have a Team Alphaniti with us today. I request Team Alphaniti to take over from here. Please, sir. Please.
Thanks, Ankur. Good evening and a very warm welcome to all the participants. From Alphaniti, I have my colleagues, UR Bhatt and Akshay Barjate with me. UR Bhatt, of course, he needs no introduction at all. He is one of India's highly acclaimed fund manager, formerly CIO for Jardine Fleming and JP Morgan, been on the board of numerous companies on SEBI committees. He's member of our founding team and also the chairman of the investment committee of Alphaniti. Akshay is a highly passionate investment professional with one of the best analytical minds and stock picking abilities. Has previously worked with Nomura, with JP Morgan, with Kotak, and now heads the investment vertical for Alphaniti. My name is Arindam, and I have been associated with the investment management industry, having built, led global and domestic fund organizations in India and abroad. Before I do a curtain raiser on Alphaniti, let me share with you some of the key perspectives on how digitization has actually been transforming the wealth and investment management landscape. Data, as all of you know, has really been exploding. It is causing this huge and dramatic shift from man to machine. And this is the mega trend that we are seeing currently playing across the globe as well as in India. In fact, wealth management has been one of the very early adopters of big data. And that is what is actually putting a lot of these customer-centric solutions at the center stage. So investors across segments are now embracing digitization to not only get access to high quality investment advice at extremely affordable price, but also to seamlessly fulfill their trades by leveraging on technology and have a great user experience as well. And therefore, to enable investors to experience this new normal in digital wealth management, we built Alphaniti, where investors can come on board. They can empower themselves with the right knowledge, choose the solutions which match their investment needs, their investment goals, which match their risk profile, and then fulfill their trades with our execution partner, Nirmal Bank. Now, just to touch upon some of the key attributes of our Alphaniti platform. In the Alphaniti platform, Indian investors get to choose from a wide range of offerings, including unique strategies, thematic baskets, stock ideas, and they cover multiple asset classes, right from equity, mutual fund, as well as ETFs. Now, this is a high quality investment engine, which has been built on the edifice of what we internally say is by being efficient, being smart, and being trustworthy. In fact, our investment team collectively has over 7 decades of strong institutional investment management experience to inspire trust and credibility in the minds of our investors. As Ankur was mentioning, our bouquet of high quality offerings have been carefully designed, and they have been rigorously backtested across different and long market cycles to ensure their robustness and durability as well. We follow rule-based, data-driven approach with time and even balanced rebalancing, with the option left to the investors to decide on the timing of the rebalancing in order to optimize their portfolio performance. The minimum threshold for the stock baskets have also been kept low, and they typically start from around INR 3,000 going up to a max of around 25, 26,000, depending on the price of the stocks. But in short, Alphaniti actually makes investing very easy. And in partnership with Nirmal Bang, it offers low-cost, automated, integrated investment advice and execution platform to redefine the experience of investing digitally. And with that, I will now request Akshay to take you through the demo of the platform. Akshay?
Thank you very much, Anandam. Right. So I'm going to share my screen with everyone. So as you can see, this is our platform, www.alphaniti.com. This is our homepage. I'm going to get logged in over here. I can use either my email address or my mobile number to log in. It's a fairly straightforward OTP generation process. So you don't have to really make a password or remember it. Right. So on our platform, we have three primary asset classes. We have India equities, we have US equities, and mutual fund thematic baskets. Today, we are going to talk about what we have under India equities, which is again divided into two subcategories. One is thematic baskets. The second is secular strategies. Very quickly, let me take you through some of the strategies that we have rolled out. So right now what we have done is that we have rolled out three momentum based strategies based on three key indices: Nifty 50, Nifty 200, and the Nifty Mid Cap 150. The differentiating factor over here is that we have done a lot of analysis and a lot of back testing of these particular strategies. So जैसे कि यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, these strategies have been extensively backtested right from as far as 2007, so that we could sort of see how they would have performed during the entire 2008 panic. And as you can see over here, for example, the mid-cap portfolio has actually performed extremely well versus the benchmark and has been a winner throughout. The differentiating factor of these strategies is that these are 20 stock portfolios. The weights are linked to the individual market caps of these companies. So the weights would be unique to every stock. And the other differentiating factor over here is that there is no human intervention in any of these strategies. In fact, the rebalancing which we do is on a quarterly basis. You can see over here the next rebalancing is due in February 2021. We have last rebalanced this portfolio in November. So all these rebalances, the stock picking is done by an algorithm which has been designed by us, and there is absolutely no human intervention over here or any kind of bias, right? So this is on some of the strategies that we have. What I would like to talk about more importantly are some of the baskets that we have. So we have 9 thematic baskets based on different themes. For example, we have a good health basket, which basically focuses on the entire healthcare space in the Indian equity markets. So we look at pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, diagnostics, medical devices, life insurance, as well as health insurance companies. So these are very simple baskets. The ticket size is very small. It's a 10,000 rupee portfolio. It consists of 10 stocks. And it is a multi-cap approach that we have followed in these baskets. So you will have a mixture of large caps, mid caps, as well as small caps in each of our baskets. Now, for example, let's assume that I actually am interested in this basket and I would like to purchase it. So if I click on this yellow button over here, all I have to do is enter the amount that I want to invest. So over here, it tells me that the minimum investment amount is 10,609 rupees. Let's assume that I want to actually invest 15,000 rupees. I will ask the algorithm to calculate, and it will calculate the quantities across the stocks in the portfolio over here. Now, these prices are obviously closing prices as of today at 3:30, but during market hours, these prices get refreshed every 5 minutes. So you would get the most recent price. Now, if I want to actually execute this order, all I have to do is click on this yellow button over here, which says confirm order. I have to choose my broker. I choose Nirmal Bank. All I have to do is now log in to Nirmal Bank using my Nirmal Bank credentials. And there you go. You can see the entire basket on the Nirmal Bank platform. Over here, you can see it says buy. It gives you the exact quantities, and you can execute this entire portfolio at prevailing market rates. All you have to do is click submit, and your order gets placed. It is as simple as this. So I have not executed this order as of now. So obviously, I've come back to my homepage. Similar fashion, once I have purchased any of the portfolios, I have a quick view landing page where I can actually view my entire portfolio. So I have purchased two portfolios over here, which is the Nifty Midcap 150 Momentum and the Nifty 50 Momentum. I have put 5 lakh and 2 lakh rupees to work. So my total investment amount is 7 lakh rupees. And as of today, I have the current market value of my entire portfolio is 10 lakhs 44,000. So it gives me an overall view of my entire portfolio. Individually, if I want to see what is the status of any of my particular portfolios, all I have to do is go and click on the particular portfolio, and I actually get to see the entire portfolio's status, where I have all the stocks, the latest price, the price at which I invested, the sector, so on and so forth. I can also review my entire transaction history, which is mentioned over here, the number of buys and sells. Now, this particular portfolio was rebalanced by me in on December. So it actually shows me the stocks which I sold and the fresh stocks which I bought on 9th of December. So this also gives you a good idea a good way to sort of track your entire portfolio and the entire history. With this, I would hand it over again to Ankur, and we can take any questions if there are.
ब्रीफ में काफी कुछ समझा दिया एंड एक इन्वेस्टर के लिए काफी हेल्पफुल है ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म वेयरबाय मतलब उनका काम काफी इजी कर दिया है प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू बट स्टिल आई हैव सर्टेन क्वेरीज आई एम श्योर कि इन्वेस्टर्स को भी रहेंगे बट इफ यू कैन एड्रेस इट आई विल जस्ट आस्क now my question to Bhatt sir is that sir Nifty is running is at all-time high. Then do you think that we need to wait for a correction and then invest?
Well, it's a very good question. Now, if you really see, if you've been in the market for some time, say, for example, the Sensex has had a history of something like about 42 years, and the Nifty has had a history of about 27 years. If you see these line graphs where against time, the value of the Sensex and the value of the Nifty has been plotted, you will see that they're all having, there's a graph showing an ascending graph with a reasonably good slope of something like about 30-40 degrees slope. So which means that generally those who have invested in the broad market, in these portfolios, that is the Sensex and the Nifty portfolio, they've done well over the last 25-40 years. But if you see, those graphs are not line graphs, not straight line graphs. So there's always things here and there going up and down on a trajectory. So now these going up and down, these kinks are basically where the traders revel. That is when if it goes up today, it comes down tomorrow, people trade and hopefully make money. Most of the time they don't. But so this positive slope is what we are actually as long-term investors more interested in. And so therefore, as long as there's a positive slope based on the growth in the economy, based on the companies doing well year over year. So I think generally you should be doing very well. So timing the market is not exactly a great idea. And say, for example, March, the market fell quite badly, 40% to about 7,500 Nifty levels. And then it started going up. And by May, you had lots of these big institutional brokers giving reports saying that, at about 8,800, it is the peak. So therefore, it will start correcting. But then the market keeps going up, and it's today is whatever 13,500 or whatever. So therefore, I don't think it is worthwhile for us to time the market. As I said, if you see the positive sloping graph over the last 25 to 40 years, it is going only one way. While particular stocks might actually have come down, some of them might have actually gone bankrupt also. But the broad market as such keeps going up. So that is what we want to capture. We are not interested in capturing these daily movements, which is a different set of skills. I mean, quite often people do this, try to manage these kinks and lose money. We don't want to do that. As investors, we really want to capture the long-term sort of growth of the market, and that's what we are doing. And actually, nobody knows the future. So therefore, as you say that there are institutions which have been saying that at 8,800 it looks peakish. So let us now call it quits and start selling. So, but after that, it has gone up to 13,500. So nobody really knows. Everybody has some idea about what should be a fair market price, fair market value. But the market is not prepared to oblige you by stopping at fair market value. It can swing up and down. It is like a pendulum. So therefore, it is absolutely futile timing the market. We should actually be interested in buying into good stocks, good sectors, and building a portfolio. And that is where Alphaniti comes into play, because if you see whether it was March or whether it is even now, from March to now, the market has gone up by something from 7,500 to 13,500, about 80%. It is not as if all stocks have gone up. So only few stocks have gone up. Lots of stocks are still at 52-week lows. So therefore, it is very important for us to capture the right sectors, the right stocks, and that is where Alphaniti has put a lot of effort and research into this, and created all these portfolios, whether it is strategies or whether it is baskets, where you can buy into these baskets and probably keep buying these baskets as you go along, and hope and as we have seen, as backtesting has been demonstrated, and Akshay showed it. Generally, we have done very, very well on these baskets, because these baskets are very well researched, and all the experience has been brought to bear in selecting those stocks, creating those portfolios, and they are the ones that have done very well. So therefore, I mean, my submission is that it is, even though the market might look toppish, but there is no point timing the market, because timing the market is for a different class of traders. For us as investors, we should be really interested in the secular growth of the market, growth of the economy, and growth of companies.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. So Akshay, would you advise on rebalancing of the portfolio?
Ji, sir. Right. So in fact, incidentally, I also have a question over here. Somebody was asking about the frequency of rebalancing as well.
Yeah, correct.
So let me take both of these questions up. Yes, all our strategies and all our baskets have a rebalancing feature built in, and it is automatic. The end investor doesn't really have to do it on his own. We take care of that. We have either quarterly or half-yearly rebalancing. So as you can see over here, for example, we have the Good Health basket. The next rebalancing date is 25th of February 2021. So if let's assume that we have an investor who has actually bought the Good Health basket today, then on 18th of February, we would give him an email. We would send him an email. We would send him an SMS, telling him that his portfolio is coming up for rebalancing a week later. We would again give him an alert a day before the actual rebalancing date. And again, on the rebalancing day itself, we he would give him an alert with a link. Once he clicks on that link, it would be something like this. So once he clicks on the link, he would actually get to see something like this. He would get to see this page where he would see the stocks to be sold. The quantities would be mentioned over here along with the current market rates. He would be given the stocks to buy with the quantities. And all he has to do is click on this execute button, and the entire workflow, which we just saw some time back, where he has to log in through his Nirmal Bank account and execute the entire buy and sell orders at a click of a button. That is how it would take place. Now, coming back to whether a client should rebalance or not, given that we are advisors, we put a lot of time and effort into creating these strategies and maintaining these strategies as well. It would ideally be beneficial for clients to actually do the rebalancing on the designated dates, because that's the best way for him to track the model portfolio, which is shown over here. Because otherwise, typically what happens is then ultimately there will be a big deviation between what the client's portfolio is and what the current portfolio is over here, and that would not really make to a great investor experience. In order to give him the best of all the possible advice, it would be better that he would diligently do the rebalancing on the specified rebalancing dates.
Okay, thank you so much यार. मतलब एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म दे दिया आपने जहाँ पे क्लाइंट शांति से सो सके, देख सके, and if he want then he can just rebalance. It's fantastic, very
That's
good.
right.
So again, but sir, coming to you, एक और एक question था कि जैसा ये what will be the impact of this particular pandemic on economy and markets, sir? Can you please throw some light on it?
Generally, if you see, markets are influenced by sort of four factors. One is, of course, interest rates, the state of interest rates, whether it is high or low, that influences the market a lot. The state of liquidity, sentiment, and then valuation. These are the four factors that influence market. Now, let us see how the pandemic has affected these four factors. Interest rates have really come down because all central banks, including the Indian Central Bank, the Reserve Bank of India, they want to ensure that the pain as a result of the pandemic is kept to the minimum. So therefore, they are making liquidity available. In the US and in Europe, it is of a much higher magnitude. In fact, the US Fed has almost doubled its size of the balance sheet in order to provide liquidity. And so therefore, liquidity is something that is flush all around the world. And probably that is one of the reasons why you are seeing so much of foreign portfolio inflows today. But liquidity is very high. Interest rates are very low. So if you see, for example, the commercial paper market is now, you can borrow money at as low as 3.5 to 4%. So which is never been heard of till now. So therefore, interest rates are low. So therefore, the markets are doing well because in a manner of speaking, interest rates can be comparable, can be compared to earnings yield, which is the inverse of the PE. So therefore, if the interest rates are low, typically the markets, the PE would be high. Liquidity, as I said, liquidity is abundant. So everybody is now investing in the equity market because interest rates are so low. If you put money in the fixed deposit, you hardly get any worthwhile interest return. So therefore, people are taking a bet on the stock market, and they're actually making money there also. So it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then sentiment is now at is very good because initially people thought that because of the pandemic we will go out of commission for a long time. And if you see the June quarter results were very bad. June quarter GDP was the historic low at minus 23% or so growth. So this has never happened till now. So, but come the July to September quarter, things started improving, and hopefully the December quarter and the March quarter will be much better. So therefore, I think sentiment has improved quite a lot. Of course, valuation is a bit stretched. There is no doubt about it. The market has gone up by 80% over the last, say, about 8 months. So certainly the valuation has got stretched. But as I said, the market is not obliged to obey your concept of valuation and your concept of fair valuation. So it can swing. It's a pendulum. It can go up and down. It can go this way and that way. So therefore, there is a possibility that the market could go up. But as far as the pandemic is concerned, the way we do business has dramatically changed as a result of the pandemic. And if you see, there are several industries that have really gone down under. despite a lot of sort of fillip given by the government and by the central bank of the country. Like say, for example, wherever there is a requirement for people to assemble together, that business has gone down under. Whether it is restaurant business, whether it is entertainment, in a cinema, or even say, for example, where you travel together in groups, whether holidaying, and all these things have really got affected quite badly. And this work to home has become a very big business, because especially the IT sector, which was a very big consumer of commercial real estate with offices. So there, probably more than half of them are now working from home, and I think their efficiency, if anything, is improved. So therefore, I think it is very unlikely that all of them will come back to their offices. So therefore, there are implications for commercial real estate, where you build office space and then lease it out. And so therefore, there are some businesses which are amenable to work from home, or which are possibly, which you can achieve your aims by. So those businesses can continue to do well. But those other businesses which require someone to sit together and do work, it is somewhat physically, it is somewhat difficult. So therefore, you have got to therefore pick up particular sectors, particular companies which are likely to do well. And that is why you have seen from the march of the Nifty from 7,500 to 13,500, a virtual 80% upside, is restricted to only some scripts, is restricted only to some sectors. Not all sectors are doing well. So if you really see, the ones which have probably not done very well, as I said, are the restaurant, cinema, holiday packages, commercial real estate, airlines, and things like that. What is the theme that is really playing out well? It is digital, probably health, and the facilitators of work to home, which is things like logistics. And since the government is committed to kickstart the economy again, so therefore investment in infrastructure, these are the sort of sectors which are likely to do probably very well. So therefore, I think the lesson that we have to learn is that the business is not as usual earlier. It is a new normal. So therefore, we have to change our focus in terms of investment to those sectors which are likely to do well, and probably not give too much importance to those companies and sectors which probably will suffer for a long time. That said, there is always a word of caution that because we have not had much of a problem as far as containing the pandemic is concerned, like say, for example, what is happening in the developed markets in US, and today only Germany extended the lockdown further. So therefore, there are so many countries which are still having lockdown, whereas here we are actually easing lockdowns, and things are actually improving. Industry is coming back to space. If you see the GST collection, it is again topping 1 lakh crore per month, which means that economic activity has really come back. But there is always, you have to always be sure that the vaccine is still not exactly commercially viable and ready, at least in India. So it will take time for people to get vaccinated. So therefore, there is a possibility that things can go from bad to worse. So we have to be careful. But at the same time, we should not really be bystanders waiting for the market to fall precipitously and then take a call. As I said earlier, you have to keep investing if you're a long-term investor, because the graph of all these Sensex or the Nifty over the last 25 to 40 years has always been an upward sloping graph with kinks in between. So don't bother too much about the kinks. Just follow the upward sloping graph.
Oh, thank you so much, sir, for such a fantastic information. So again, coming back to Akshay, which sectors will outperform? We can talk about, any basket themes across like different market segments like BFSI, tech, IT, etc.
Sure. Thank you. That's a very good question, and quite a difficult one, to be honest. But so when we think about that, there are two products that we have, right? One product which we have is on strategies. That is sector agnostic, because it is completely based on the indices itself, and it only views a particular factor, to build those particular portfolios, which is momentum. But when we come to our baskets, now these baskets are, they have a sectoral bias. They are thematic in nature. So for example, the good health basket, like I said earlier, focuses more on the healthcare industry. The digital India basket focuses more on IT, digital internet services. Telecom also comes under this space. Kisan or Kheti, as it says, it's rural. economy. So under the rural economy, we have fertilizers, agrochemicals, tractors, so on and so forth. So we have really given a lot of thought process into creating each one of these baskets, which we have over here today. And I would say that each one of them should do really well in our view. But if I had to pick, some of my personal favorites, then I would definitely go for the Good Health basket, the Digital India basket, and perhaps, if somebody wants to play contrarian, I think the perfect PSU basket also should figure in his portfolio, because I think PSUs as a segment has underperformed significantly over the last 10 years. A lot of value, deep value lies within many of these companies, and which I believe the market will sort of choose to recognize in the years to come.
एक क्वेश्चन एक और है, like these are the predefined baskets. Okay,
Yes.
if anyone want, then can he create his own basket?
Right. So as of now, Ankur, बेसिकली हम लोगों ने बहुत सोच समझ के ये बास्केट्स एक्चुअली क्यूरेट किए हैं. काफी मेहनत गई है टू क्रिएट these baskets and these products, and in fact over the coming 3 to 6 months we are going to introduce a host of many products and many such unique services as well, which will also include a smart stock engine recommendation as well. So when it comes to investors trying to create their own baskets, yes, that is also something which we are cognizant of. We are working towards that, and our future features will also sort of have this facility as well, our next few versions.
Okay, and suppose now, for an example, if a user do not have to trade it, but they just want to check their portfolio, so
Yes.
is it possible?
Absolutely, absolutely. So
It's
if he doesn't want to trade, all he has to do is bookmark it. So over here, as you can see, these strategies are something which I have not purchased per se myself. I am just viewing them. So I can bookmark them. I can create a watch list of these particular portfolios, and I can view them. And I can also read the kind of theme that we are playing over here. However, the Good Health is more focused towards the healthcare industry. But if you go towards Makan, Gadi, or lifestyle, it focuses on the lifestyle of the urban consumer. So it would have a mixture of real estate, autos, mutual funds, life insurance. That the modern those are the kind of stocks we would have over here. So we have tried to create themes based on this and not focus on a particular sector, like only focusing on banking and finance, or focusing only on pharma sector, or focusing only let's say on maybe consumption sector. What we have tried to do is create a blend.
Good.
Yeah.
One more investor has asked one question. I think it could be an interesting one. I could see the investment value is odd for each and every for every basket. So on what basis it's been decided that it has does the changes often?
That's a really good question. Actually, there is no magic rule over here. Simply, basically what we have done is यहाँ पे 10 stocks आपको दिखते हैं portfolio में. हर एक stock के against there is a specific weight which has been assigned. So based on this weight and the closing price of that particular day, the portfolio value gets calculated. And the way we calculate this minimum portfolio value will be on the basis of, obviously there is an algorithm which does this calculation, but the minimum quantity which we can buy in India is only one share, right? You cannot buy in fractions. जैसे आप म्यूचुअल फंड खरीदते हो तो अगर आपने 5,000 रुपए उसमें डाले हैं तो आपको फ्रैक्शनल यूनिट्स भी मिलते हैं, बट व्हेन यू आर बाइंग शेयर्स, unfortunately the minimum unit size is 1. So that becomes our predefined condition that the minimum stock that I have to buy, if I have to buy this entire portfolio, would be at least one share of any particular stock. So taking that into consideration and the weights and the closing prices, our algorithm then defines the minimum investment amount, which changes on a daily basis. But then again, it doesn't change very dramatically unless the stocks themselves go up and down very fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to show risk profile desk?
Sure. So what happens is that at the time of registering with us, we ask you for your email ID and your mobile number. That's about it. Once you complete the registration process, we immediately take you through a risk profiler, which is something like this. So we ask you 5 to 6 simple questions. All you have to do is click on the questions which are the answers to these questions, and it will calculate your risk profile. So let me just do this in front of you very quickly. So for example, let's assume that I have looked at the 2008 meltdown. Okay, what is the worst loss that I have seen in my portfolio till date? Let's assume that I have seen a loss of 20 to 50%. What was my experience living through this period of portfolio loss? I held on to my investment. Now, what happens if the portfolio today falls by more than 30%? What will I do? So will I will probably increase my investments aggressively. And which of the most am I most comfortable with? So I am comfortable with a great 20 to 30% CAGR with less than 30% drawdown risk. So 30% के ऊपर मुझे risk लेनी नहीं है, but 20 to 30% compounded return अगर मुझे मिले long term में, मैं उसमें बहुत खुश हूँ. So I click on this. First, now all I have to do is just submit this. It will calculate the risk profile over here, which shows as moderate. If I agree with this, all I have to do is confirm, and it stores my risk profile. So in the future, now for example over here, I have been defined as a moderate risk taker. But now if I go to any of my baskets and I click on them and I want to purchase them, as you can see, the risk profile of this particular basket is actually aggressive. So we would actually alert the user and ask him that is he sure if he actually wants to go ahead and invest in an aggressive portfolio, because it is against his risk profile. Only if he chooses to click yes, will we allow him to proceed ahead.
Okay, it's quite good, yeah, and interesting, I can say.
Yeah.
So I think more or less
Great.
we have answered almost all of the questions. Like, okay.
Okay. I think there are a few other questions as well which people have. So maybe if time permits, we could just quickly tick mark those as well.
See if you can answer those.
Sure. So I think Jash Shah, he has a question. Like small case, can we create our own baskets? So sir, like we said, we are still in the process of rolling out a lot of new interesting products. But in the future versions of Alphaniti, we would definitely look to sort of give this facility to our customers as well. The second question somebody has is on capital gains management. Sir, capital gains, we don't really track it because there are quite for you over here which you can then tally with your broker. You can give it to your CA, and on the basis of this, he can calculate your capital gains, whether it's short term or long term. That's something which we can definitely do.
Actually, the capital gains comes from the broker. So you will be able to get that information from the broker's platform itself.
It's available into the back office and reports. So it can be available easily. If anyone need it, then we can give it. We can provide it on a broker side.
Right. Okay. What happens to the dividend? Sir, it's very simple. You have bought the stock. It gets the stock goes to your demat account. So you get the dividend directly in your bank account.
Akshay, you would like to take the question on the trading account from Shiva Kumar?
Sure. So if somebody doesn't have an account, a trading account, well, there are two choices he has. One is that, he can still subscribe for our services. He can look at the portfolios and he can execute it offline on his own. That's very much possible. Or else, he can choose to open an account with any of, the brokers listed here, or with Nirmal as well. That process, and then he can use this platform seamlessly.
So Akshay,
yes,
do you have any certain packages created? Can you
Absolutely. Let me show that to you. So this is our pricing. Right. So we have three plans as of today. The most popular plan that we have is 1,999 for the full year, within which we give you the entire gamut of services, all the products which we have on the platform. Not only the current ones, but whatever comes in the future as well will be given to you by default for a period of 1 year. So this is the most popular package. In fact, we have seen 80% of our users actually go for this particular package. We have two other packages as well, which is a standard, which is 999 a year, in which you will get access to all the baskets. Any new baskets which come onto our platform would also come under this particular offering. Lastly, what we have is Pro. under which we give you access to all our momentum strategies. Apart from this, we'll be launching a host of new techno-funda strategies as well in the coming months. Very exciting strategies, definitely. They would also be offered under this particular package, which is 1399. However, I would definitely urge users, if they are seriously looking at this platform, they should go for the premium, because in this, trust me, we are going to come out with some really interesting, innovative products. They would get access to everything under this. And we do believe that, this is an extremely competitive pricing, because as of today itself, we have 9 baskets, we have 4 strategies, and we have, I think, roughly 6 mutual fund thematic baskets as well. So almost 20 products, and for, roughly 2,000 rupees a year. So it's like 100 rupees a product for the full year, in which we also give you access to 4 rebalances. I think, this is extreme value for money.
Oh, that's good. I think it's 180 rupees per month, I think.
Roughly, hardly 180 rupees. That's right.
Yeah, correct. It's fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's one more question, if you can help us out in this.
Sure.
Can you give the figure of the return from 1st March 2020 to 30th September? If somebody has invested in one of the baskets suggested by you, and do you give trigger if the return is going opposite?
Good question. So let me show you, one of the baskets. Just a second. I'll have to log in once again. Right. So abhi, if we go to any of our baskets, जैसे कि कोई भी एक basket उठा लेते हैं अपन, for example, Digital India उठा लेते हैं. So as you can see, February में इसकी NAV जो थी वो 142 थी. March में सब कुछ collapse हो गया था, तो 142 का ये जाके गिरा all the way down to almost 84. So it fell by almost, I think, 40%. And from there, it has not only recovered to the original value by July, and post that, it has gone on to give a significant amount of return. So, most of our baskets have actually given these kind of returns. Maybe 1 or 2 are probably still struggling, but we do believe that, they will also perform with in times to come. Now, the other question he had was, on, do we give the opposite signal? Well, sir, this is where the, portfolio rebalancer comes in. We don't give any sell signals between the rebalancing dates. However, अगर कोई एक हाथ कंपनी में सपोज कोई प्रॉब्लम आ गया या कोई कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस इश्यू हो गया, मतलब कोई एकदम ब्लैक स्वॉन इवेंट जैसा अगर कुछ हो गया, so we would definitely take that into account, and we would immediately rebalance, or we would advise the clients to exit that particular stock overnight, and we would ask them to replace it with maybe some other stock. We have made provisions for that.
Somebody has, Mr. Parag has asked for the pricing of US basket is not shown, but I think US, yeah.
आपने सही पकड़ा है. US के लिए हमने pricing यहाँ पे नहीं दिखाई है, because US products are completely different. Differently priced. It's a very different offering. इसमें भी हमारे पास secular strategies भी है. We also have US baskets, but these are available through another platform, which is StockL. So once you open an account with StockL, which is a designated US broker, आप ये stocks जो US में listed है, जैसे कि अभी ये technology leaders basket है, तो इसमें जो 20 stocks है, आप यहाँ पे खरीद सकते हैं. जो pricing है, वो StockL platform पे आपको मिलेगी.
Okay.
Akshay, there's one question, which was if you can show the path to the subscription process. How will people subscribe? So can you show it on the platform?
Let me check. Just a second. Now, I already have a premium subscription, so that's there. But what happens over here is दो चीजें होती है. एक तो we ask you to firstly complete your KYC. If you are KYC compliant, then we take you through our agreement. करना है on I agree on the terms and conditions. Once you say ये click किया यहाँ पे proceed to payment. The entire process for a absolutely new user who has never used Alphaniti, from the time of registering on the website to the time he subscribes, then comes back and executes any one of the baskets through his brokers during market hours, the entire process will take him less than 5 minutes.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I think we've been flooded with questions, Ankur. So probably we can take a couple of more. So there's this one question which is on, I think, if you can share any PowerPoint, will be useful to create awareness at mass level. Yes, we can. So we can share any marketing document or a PowerPoint to create the awareness. There is another question which says, what is your experience in mutual funds? I think mutual funds, are good products. They offer diversification. They straddle multiple themes and strategies, and therefore it is always good to have some allocation to mutual funds. Akshay, there's one gentleman, Mr. Pritesh, he's asked, can you explain one more time how the rebalancing works?
The rebalancing, okay. Okay, very simple. Let's assume, sir, कि आपने कोई एक basket खरीदा है, or maybe one of the strategies. Once you have bought it, what we do over here is we alert you as to when is the next due date for the rebalancing. यहाँ पे, in this case, the rebalancing of this portfolio is now due on 25th of February. So 1 week before this particular date, we would send you an alert via SMS and via an email saying that एक हफ्ते में आपकी rebalancing portfolio की due है, good health basket की, so that you are aware of that this is coming up. So in case if there is anything to be sold or to be purchased, you can at least make sure that either those stocks are there in your demat account or you have adequate funds lying in your account, because आजकल margin को लेके काफी issues हो जाते हैं brokers के साथ, right? We would send you an email in the morning, we would send you an SMS में एक link होगा, email में भी एक link होगा. Once you click on that link, basically it will take you to a login page of Alphaniti. You put in your credentials, you will be directly taken to this particular page, जहाँ पे आपको दिखाया जाएगा for that particular product which you own कि कौन से stocks आपको बेचने हैं, कितनी quantities बेचनी है, कौन से stocks आपको buy करने हैं, उसके कितनी quantities आपको खरीदने हैं. And this is obviously assuming that you hold all these stocks in your demat account through that particular broker, and all you have to do is just click on execute during market hours, and the entire process is seamless, because then after that through one click you can execute your entire rebalanced portfolio and it's done.
Great. I think Ankur, as we keep getting questions, we are also kind of now getting full up on time.
Okay.
So I think it was a wonderful interaction, and I think the kind of questions, the diversity of questions and the range, I think it's been extremely encouraging for us. Yeah, with that, Ankur, I would now request you to say a few words in conclusion.
Definitely, but prior to that, I can say that it's Alphaniti. I think वो काफी helpful रहेगा investors के लिए and even traders के लिए, those who are very active and those who want to be an investor, जो market से डरते थे, उनको समझ में नहीं आता था कि अभी करे किस तरह से. So I think ये platform जो है अपना काफी useful रहेगा उनके लिए. Thank you team Alphaniti, and thank you everyone, those who have attended the webinar, and I request everyone to use this particular functionality, register at Alphaniti, and keep your portfolio healthy and wealthy. Thanks everyone again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.